The facility here, as mentioned, would carry 6 badminton courts and a similar amount of squash courts. The cost of the facility is $4.5 million. It is expected to cover 20,000 square feet and should be completed in 18 months' time. Now, this is a significant investment in 2 disciplines, and as I mentioned before, we're trying to build out all of the facilities here in relation to this location at Wildy, 400 track, and just hopefully in the not too distant future, I will be inviting you again to a groundbreaking for another facility, but that is a different time. So I want you to, enjoy the facility. As mentioned before, one of the projects, part of the sports project online is sports tourism, and that is a big thing. So, and if we can have persons come in and use the facility for training, then hopefully your coffers will be improved because you can have some funds in terms of cost recovery coming from whoever is coming on island. One of the other projects that we're looking at this location is to see if we can construct some dorms, and if that materializes, then we will have a facility that can house maybe 100, 200 individuals that are coming from overseas to stay at that facility and enjoy all of the different disciplines that are at this particular location. I really welcome this. We need to have facilities for as many of our disciplines as possible. And the truth is that government is pouring from a single cup, so we cannot build a facility for every single discipline that is on island. So as far as possible, what we will try to do is to do exactly this. Multidiscipline facilities that we can have 2 or 3 different disciplines at a particular location. I want for you guys to take care of the facility. Like I said, $4.5 million is what is being invested. And I'm sure that at the end of the day, both NFs and me will have the type of results that we're looking for on island in terms of developing our youngsters. Finally, in terms of one of the things that I mentioned and you spoke about it, you must have individuals that are engaged in talent identification. And in some cases it is difficult because squash and badminton is not something that is played on the streets that you can pass and see someone and say, I can do that. But the youngsters in communities all across Barbados that are struggling, the socioeconomic situation is putting them in a disadvantaged position. And I want for you to be able to interact with the school system and let in the secondary school, it will be the guidance counselors. In the primary school, you may need to speak directly to the head teacher, but let them identify for you some of the youngsters that they deem may be going in the other direction. And those are the ones that I want you to pay special attention to in terms of getting them inside of the squash and badminton movement and ensure that you can change lives, because that is really what it's all about. To look for the raw talent, to unearth those diamonds in the rough and shine them to a level that all of us will be appreciative of. And if you do that, then you make this sports minister happy. Thank you for listening.
You seem like a very happy man right now. How does it feel?
Yeah, I am very happy. When I first started badminton a very long time ago, it was the vision of the persons in charge at that time to eventually one day to have a home for badminton, and that's when I was playing in juniors. So now I have gone through juniors, gone through seniors, and now I'm an administrator. I feel really happy to be here today for the groundbreaking ceremony for the home for badminton. I feel really proud, because when I first started badminton, as I said previously, that was the vision of the persons, the administrators at that point, and this is some over 25 years now down the road, and we are finally to this point.
And what does this mean to the future of badminton?
Yeah, badminton, this is the step in the right direction for badminton. The future is bright. It allows us to open more programs for the schools, programs for our para athletes, programs for our national athletes, and training camps, so we can tap into that sports tourism market. So there's a lot that will be coming out of this home for the sport of badminton.
And then lastly, anybody wants to thank you to that you have had support from?
Yeah, I must thank Calvin Martin. He's Calvin Martin is a very special person to badminton. He has stuck with me in terms of getting us to this point. He was really integrally involved in the project. The first time that I had the discussion with Sports Council and Squash, I called him right away and said, Martin, I got some information. I want you to come. I want you to see. I want you to do something for me. And he came, and he came through for everyone, both squash and badminton. And I'm really indebted to Martin for getting us to this point.
So the six courts in one place not only doubles the number of courts available to play, but also because it will be under the control of the Barbados Squash Association, Inc. This will be the first time that we will actually have an official home. Up until now, all of our competitions, we have to rent space and jockey for position, basically at the Barbados Squash Club, which has 3 courts, and is one of the best facilities in the Caribbean. But 6 courts now, with three of them being side by side with movable walls, so you can have two doubles courts, is a really big deal. So we are really pleased with what has transpired here today. We're delighted to be able to share the facility with our friends at Badminton. We have been working collaboratively for years, trying to find the right location, trying to get the costs down to where a facility was manageable, was possible. So the fact that the government of Barbados, through the National Sports Council, is actually investing $4.5 million into constructing this building, the National Racket Center, it really speaks volumes, and kudos to the government of Barbados, kudos to National Sports Council for driving this, because they really did push this very hard. It's been a long time in coming in terms of the design process to get to this point, well over a year, but now at least things are happening, physically on the ground. We are hoping that the shell of the building and the roof and so on will be completed in about 9 months or so, and we're really looking forward to being able to occupy that building space before the end of this year, 2025.